Well, some lawmakers are getting behind recent reforms from the Attorney General's office aimed at speeding up investigations into sexual assault. They want to codify into state law new requirements mandating the testing of all so-called rape kits. That's the forensic data law enforcement collects from assault victims during an investigation. The legislation will also accelerate how quickly the material is tested and, as Raven Santana reports, clear a large backlog of thousands of untested kits.
I had the privilege of being an undersheriff and a sheriff. I saw firsthand victims in their most vulnerable moments. That never leaves you. And quite frankly, I just truly believe the system is supposed to work fairly for all.
Former Sheriff Senator Joe Cryan knows firsthand how the evidence tested in rape kits are vital to catching sexual predators or even freeing those wrongly convicted.
I was astonished that some counties, for example, in the state of New Jersey, less than 50% of the kits were tested overall, and this was left to the discretion of the counties. Having been a sheriff in Union County, I can assure you that at least the practice in Union County was for all to be tested. So it was quite alarming.
That's why he's now pushing a bill to clear the state's rape kit backlog and make sure all collection kits are tested. The legislation that was advanced by the Senate Law and Public Safety Committee also requires testing facilities to notify law enforcement within 24 hours of a test being taken, a measure that is supported by Attorney General Matt Platkin, who over the summer announced a directive requiring all kits be tested regardless of how old.
What the bill does is it provides a process so that those kits are done before December of 2025 in a methodical fashion. And candidly, it follows the Attorney General's directive that he issued in August. Kicking and screaming a little bit, but he did issue it. So as a result of that, it codifies that, also provides a timeline so that kits are tested within 10 calendar days moving forward, so that victims have some assurance, again, that the process is being followed in a timely manner. And then those results are distributed, they're DNA results. Other states, by the way, that have done this for years have had the opportunity to find, in one particular state's case, I believe it's 13,000 criminals over the course of 4 years, folks that have done these crimes multiple times through this process.
Ending the rape kit backlog. That has been our main campaign since 2010. We actually don't know what New Jersey's backlog looks like because the inventory only looked at what was on shelves during a couple of years. It was only a 3-year look. And even that was over 2,000.
Ilsa Connect is the Director of Policy and Advocacy at Joyful Heart Foundation, a nonprofit that supports survivors of domestic violence, child abuse, and sexual assault with a number of resources, while also pushing reforms in legislation to ensure justice for them.
Joyful Heart issued a 10-year report on the state of the backlog nationally a couple of years ago. And what we found is really good news, which is that the backlog is diminishing. At one point, there were anywhere from 300 to 400,000 untested kits across the country, right? And now we're under 100,000. By some counts, we might be under 60,000. We're really excited about New Jersey getting on board now and starting to adopt our 6 pillars.
Connect says ultimately the legislation would allow science, not discretion, to help solve crimes.
Again, all these things and beliefs and ideas and biases and victim blaming that people bring to this decision, it's just not a good idea to have one person making a decision like that. So taking the discretion away, makes sense then, because you have DNA, which is science. It's, you test it, you get a profile, it might hit to somebody on the database. That is science, right? There's no bias there.
Cryan says the Attorney General is already on board and he's confident that the bill will pass. For NJ Spotlight News, I'm Raven Santana.